Hey guys, welcome back to some more reviews. And I know I talked about this film in the past, but I wanted to do this review in memory of Gunnar Hansen and Marilyn Burns and Paul Partain. I want to do this review in memory of those three cast members. They did a great job in the movie, and I figure I pay respect and also do a review on the original Texas Chain Saw Massacre, which is not the only DVD I own. I own these two DVDs. I also own the 2-disc Ultimate Edition, but it's over at my mom's house, so, once I get it from over there, I'll probably bring it back over here and stuff. But it's over there right now, so, yeah, that one's missing, but I have 4 DVDs of this movie. And like I said, this review is going to be a little bit different than the other review. The other review is more about the story, the makeup effects. This review is going to be more about basically the background details, the ones I didn't get, the ones I didn't really talk about that much. Basically, the missing details I didn't really talk about. Talk about a little bit of the backstory about the movie. Talk about how it was made, how much it took to make the movie, and the budget, and the cast, and the acting, and just talk about a little bit more of the backstory about the movie. But yeah, this review is in memory of Gunnar Hansen and Marilyn Burns and Paul Partain. They all three passed away, and Gunnar Hansen passed away last night. Marilyn Burns passed away last year, and then Paul Partain passed away a couple years ago. And it was actually back in 2004, I think, or 2006. I'm not really sure, but he passed away, quite a while back. But I still want to do this review in memory of those three people because they did a great job in this movie, and the effort and the stuff it took to make this movie was incredible. The conditions they had to work in, and they still pulled through and made a great movie. Now, of course, this film was released in 1974, gets 7.5 on IMDb. And when it came out, it made $30 million. The budget was not much. It was $83,000. $83,532, and it made $30 million in the U.S. I can't really see worldwide what it's got on here because it doesn't say it, but I know that it was banned in the UK when it came out, which at the time wasn't really that big of a surprise because in the UK at this time they were banning a lot of movies. They banned I Spit in Your Grave, they banned Last House on the Left. Basically any horror movie that was being released with lots of gore, lots of violence in it was banned in the UK. Which now it's better. It's it's everything's okay over there now with the whole recent horror movies and stuff like that. Movies don't get banned anymore over there. I think there is maybe a few, but not to the extreme of as it was back then. So yeah, everything's fine now over in the UK, but back in the day they used to ban a lot of movies, especially if they were horror movies. They'd ban a lot of movies, a lot of horror movies. And but like I said, everything's cool over there now. I mean, they don't ban a lot of movies now. But it was released in the U.S., made a lot of money. From what I've heard, it's one of the biggest hits in cinema. Just the conditions, like I said, the thing I got respect for this movie is the conditions they had to work in, because they had a very, very low budget. That's not a lot of money to work with. You gotta think, you gotta get the cast, you gotta get their, you gotta pay the cast, you gotta pay location, you gotta pay for makeup effects, you gotta pay for soundtrack, you gotta pay for these things, and that amount of money is really not a lot of money for a horror movie, well, for a movie in general. And the fact that they pulled together as a cast and as a group, as a crew, and they pulled together and they just went for it and made this movie the best they could. They put the best effort they got into the movie. They put everything they got in the movie. Tobe Hooper had to basically put some of his money into the movie. Certain crew members had to put their own money into the movie, and they put everything they got into the movie, and ended up being a big success, which was good, but at the same time it was kind of bad because a lot of stuff we're gonna talk about. We'll mention this right now though. There was a group of there was basically this film production company thing called, I don't really remember the name of it, but it was basically run by a mafia member. And what happened was they were trying to find someone to help sell the movie, get the movie out and known. Well, this company had gotten the movie out there, gotten it known, but all the success and the money, most of it went to that company. and they weren't paying, Tobe Hooper and Marilyn Burns and everybody involved in the movie. They weren't paying them the money. So basically, they had to go up there and do a whole lawsuit thing. They finally got their money back, and then of course they re-released this movie like in the 90s. I think they re-released it over in the UK. They re-released it in the US, and it made more money. And of course, that's when the cast really got paid money. When they really got paid. And so yeah, I mean, it was good because it ended up getting paid, but they had to wait like 30 years to get paid. So it was a bad thing, but it was also, at least, they still got paid. At least they got paid, but they had to wait like 30 years to get paid. So that's what sucked about it. But and you've got Tobe Hooper directing this as his first feature movie. Of course, he directed a movie called Eggshells before this, but this is actual first movie that everybody knows. This is his first feature movie, and he also directed Poltergeist, Mortuary, which sucks. Directed a couple movies, directed a lot of movies. Salem's Lot, which I don't think was a good movie. I didn't like Salem's Lot. Personally, I just didn't like it. But like I said, the cast had to work in very, very harsh conditions, but they still pulled together and they made a great movie. And Marilyn Burns, I mean, everybody basically was coming right out of acting school, so this is like their first roles in a film. And just everything about this movie is great. You've got a great set design and location. It's shot very, very well. It's very creepy. It is scary. It is creepy. For sure. It is an actual scary, creepy movie. Freaking fly, I swear. Sorry about that, guys. There's a freaking fly flying around. Freaking like right here in my eye, so I couldn't see. I got freaking distracted. Sorry about that. Freaking flies. Dang. But anyways, so you had basically everybody coming out of acting school. Everybody was basically new to this business. A brand new crew, brand new cast. A director that had a little bit of experience in the film making business, but still, basically they were new to this kind of thing. They didn't make a movie before, so this is sort of their first movie. And, the cast, like I said, they pulled together. They put everything they got into the movie, and they made a classic. They made a legendary film. And it's just shot well. It's acted well. Everything about this movie is great. Creepy soundtrack, creepy, just creepy film in general. Just a very scary film. And, some of the backstory is, of course, you've got basically sometimes people were getting hurt on set, like really legitimately were getting hurt sometimes. Like someone would fall on set and hurt their leg, or there was a time, I guess, where Marilyn Burns actually had to put a real gag on. Like it was actually, they picked it up from the floor, they found it and put it and tied it around her mouth. So that was real. I mean, the gag might have been fake, but the thing the rag they found was actually a real rag they found on the floor. So it was actually all dirty. That was real. That was a real dirty rag. So she was really, this disgusting rag in her mouth was real. And, just certain things, like they had real bones on set, real dead animals on set. It was very, very hot. It was 100-degree weather. And in the house, it was over 100 degrees. It was more hot in the house. And there was a scene where they had to shoot for 48 hours straight. It's the scene where they're having the dinner scene where, Marilyn Burns is tied up. And then, of course, everybody's around her screaming in her ear, so like that, screaming in her face. And basically, they're torturing her. That scene took 48 hours to shoot. Like I said, everybody involved in this movie was their first time doing it. You're doing a film. And just, the camera guy just came out. I guess the camera guy, the guy that did the camera work, basically he had just, actually I think it was the director of photography. He just came out of film school. Like I said, everybody's come out of film school. Everybody's new to this kind of business, except for Tobe Hooper. Tobe Hooper has some experience. He made Eggshells, so he has probably the most experience, out of the crew. And, like I said, they just pulled together and made a great movie, great pace to it, not a long movie at all, and just proves that you do not need $50 million or $80 million to make a great movie. No, you can have $100. Let's say someone gives you $100. Not even, that's still a little bit of a low budget. That's actually extremely low. let's say about they give you $1,000. They say, here's $1,000. I want you to make a movie, and I want you to make this movie. It's gonna be great. You know, when you have an $80 million budget, this is just how I think of it. When you have an $80 million budget, you're just sort of like, okay, I got $80 million. I can just use all these resources, and I can use all these actors I can get, and I can just basically chill and do this movie in a chill manner. And then when it gets released, it's maybe good, but you're not a great movie. Now, if someone hands someone a very low budget, they're going to go, okay, we have a very extremely low budget. We're going to try the best that we can do. We're going to get the best we can, you know, we're going to get the actors to do the best performance they can. We're going to do the best performance they can. We're going to get the director to do the best job that he can. Basically, with the low budget, you got to try. You have to put effort into a movie with a low budget. If you don't, that's going to be a cheesy flick. It's going to be cheesy and cheap looking and fake looking. It's not going to look good. Now, you hand someone $1,000, they're going to be like, okay, this is my first movie. I'm going to try the best I can do. It may not be awesome, but I'm going to try the best I can do. Like I said, not all movies that have low budgets are good. I've seen a lot of bad low budget movies. But I'm saying that sometimes when they get a low budget, they actually do try the best they can do. And when they do the best they can do, they can actually release some really good movies. Like I've seen a movie called it was called The Demented. Got in a 4-pack of zombie movies, which came with The Crazies, The Demented. Forgot what else it was. There was My Niece Is Not Living Dead, and there was one other movie, A Terror Experiment. And the film, why I really enjoyed The Demented so much was because they had you could tell it was a low budget, but they still shot the movie very well. And they use good camera work. They still use a good idea. I like the idea of these crazy sort of zombies that don't move until they see you or hear you, and they just they're basically a mix between a crazy person and a zombie. I like that idea that I went by at a good pace. So yeah, The Demented, it was a good movie. It's low budget. Same with My Mises, has a great idea to it. My Mises is a good movie as well. The Terror Experiment, not a great movie, but I thought it was okay. I really enjoyed The Last of the Living. I know these are all zombie movies I've named them off. Scary or Die. These are like newer movies. Scary or Die. I can't name them off right now. I gotta look, but there are low budget movies I've seen that do a good job and that show they can actually put effort into a film. And so yeah, I mean, you hand someone a $50 million budget, like, okay, they can just chill. I mean, it may not be like that. They can actually get a $50 million budget and actually try. Because you get Peter Jackson, you get, you know, what's his name? Oh, man. You get Tim Burton, you get these great directors that can actually use the money well. You can make a great movie, an amazing movie with a $50 million budget. If you got a good and confident director and you got a good confident cast. So yeah, I mean, it's sort of the more money that you got, but at the same time, you can have a $50 million budget and a great movie because it depends on how much. Also, it does depend on how much the cast is doing and how much the director is doing. But this cast and this crew and the director, everybody had to work with a low budget, and they still made a great movie. They still made a great movie. They still made a great classic. Same with Halloween. Same with Friday the 13th. Most of the movies in the Friday the 13th series don't cost that much. You know, trying to think of other movies. They're classics. Hatchet. Big fan of Hatchet. Great movie. Laid to Rest. Last House on the Left. Nightmare on Elm Street didn't even cost that much to make. I'm trying to think. You know, there's just movies that don't cost much to make. The Evil Dead, the original, great movie. So yeah, I mean, it depends on how much the cast and the directors are involved. But also, if you got a little bit of money, you're gonna try and make that money last. You're gonna say, okay, if you're really confident about the movie, you're gonna be like, okay, I got this little bit of money, I got $1,000. I'm gonna try the best I can do to make a great movie. That's just how I see it sometimes. Like, sometimes the low budget movies are sort of like, okay, got this money. I'm gonna do the best I can with this money. Now, sometimes they do that with $1 million. Like, okay, I got $1 million. Well, they got $80 million. All right, so I'm gonna make a good movie. But sometimes, like, okay, got $80 million. Just gonna throw together a cheesy movie, and make it done, make a CGI, and like Ouija, and in my opinion, The Conjuring. But there are films that are like Sinister, not Sinister 2, Sinister the original, did a great job with the budget. Same with there's a movie there called Oculus. I thought it was okay. So yeah, there can be good movies that will be made now. It's just a lot of time the cast really isn't, and the crew and the director really isn't, into the movie that much. It's just they sort of get the budget, like, oh, well, not even the budget, they just sort of get the movie. It's like, oh, do a movie. Not, okay, let's do this movie right now. We're gonna freaking try the best we can do. Let's do this movie. So I'm just like, oh, just do this movie. At least that's how it seems on the screen. Some movies like that, like Dragon Ball Evolution. What the freak is that? Did a rant on that a couple days ago. Did a rant on Dragon Ball Evolution. Like, what the freak is this? Because they had a $1 million budget, like $30 million budget, but still not a good movie. But like I said, the movie got a very low budget, but it still makes the movie. It still is a good movie. And they had to go through all this stuff to release this movie, and I got respect for that. It's got a great storyline. I like the idea, just how simple it is, but effective. It's simple, but it's really, really effective. It still leaves an impact. And it's not gory, but it feels gory. Only certain films can do that. It takes a good movie to actually do it, to make you feel like you've just been through a massacre, but then realize, hey, there's a little bit of blood in the movie. But you still feel like you just seen a gore fest, but you didn't. It's a little bit of blood here and there, but you feel like you just seen a gore fest. So that was great. The acting was great. Very, very gritty. Very, very realistic movie. Shot well, acted well. Everything is done about it as well. It's a classic, and it shows that you don't need $1 million. You don't need a $30 million budget to make a great movie. You can have low budget to make a great movie. So, guys, thanks for watching my review of the original Texas Chain Massacre. Also, I want to mention this before I leave, though. Gunnar Hansen, before he took the role as Leatherface, he actually said that before he did the movie, he went in and they said no, I think, and that it said that they denied, like, they didn't want to play Leatherface because they got the other guy to play Leatherface. And basically, Gunnar Hansen had said that this guy locked himself in the room and he was drunk and he wouldn't come out. So they had to get Gunnar Hansen to play Leatherface because the other guy was refusing to play Leatherface. And Gunnar Hansen went to a mental asylum and watched patients there. And he studied their movement, studied the way they acted, and he basically put some of that into the character. So, and also Marilyn Burns, like, she studied some characters, and you got Edwin Neal playing a great character. And just everybody in the movie had a great chemistry. Everybody in the movie did a great job. And so, yeah, I mean, it's just a great movie. And this is in memory of Marilyn Burns, Partain, and Gunnar Hansen. Sorry about that. This is in memory of Marilyn Burns, Gunnar Hansen, and Partain. They did a great job in the movie, and this is in memory of them. So, guys, thanks for watching my review on the original, the classic Texas Chain Saw Massacre. And I'll see you guys in another review. Bye, guys.